Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kizia, aka the basement child, aka auntie. Oh my god, my nose wants to start running just as soon as I've started shooting. When I did my last video, I was just like, okay, let me just give consistency a shot and see what it can do. And oh my god, you guys are like in the comment section and in my DMs, and I'm really grateful, guys, because yani you're blessing a girl, tuseme tu hivyo. Sitaki kwanza kuovershare kusema mambo mingi. Yeah, so it's Monday night. I've spent the whole day at home. Can you imagine? I've spent the day at home. I usually use Mondays to organize my week. And just now, when it's gotten dark, instead of using the natural light, that's when I've decided to shoot a video. But we are here, aren't we? So I had given you guys a life update and spoken about how I was doing better and I was out of the dark place, and I'm really grateful for that. So the life update is that I'm doing well. I'm doing fairly well. I think the way the human nature is, like, even if a situation is not getting easier, you get tougher and you get like more resilient and life moves on. So I'm really grateful that I've been able to, move on with my life. Okay, not really. I'm really grateful that I've been able to keep my shit together. I'm showing up at work as a happy person. I'm showing up for my friends as a happy person. Where like I'm able to think clearly, so I'm able to get breakthrough on some stuff. But yeah, maisha tu ni ile bado ni ngumu tu, guys. Akiwa kutuambia adulting ni ngumu hivi. The other thing is my spiritual life. So it's like every day unlocks a new I don't know what to call it, like a new dimension or something like that, because the things I'm praying for, I'm not getting any answers, by the way. Nothing. Silence. But I'm able to build my prayer life. I remember there's a person I knew who was really deep in church, and then they got church hurt, like something happened in church and they weren't able to be a part of that community as deeply anymore. And I was watching her video and she was saying that what got her through hard times was praying, and she would pray and pray and pray until she would fall asleep. So yeah, I've just been praying and trusting God, because it's hard to trust God during hard times, and during good times we even forget to give thanks. So I'm really like learning to trust God and just be grateful, worship and praise Him in the bad times as well. I'm really going through it, guys. I really need God to save me from this situation, by the way. Woo-wee! Because nikunomare. But anyway, God is the greatest all the time. Whether it's raining or it's sunny or it's good times or bad times, God will always be good. And I just hope that I can get my place to a place. I can get myself to a place where my soul consistently blesses the Lord. Consistently, just like grateful and light, and not like in a place where kuna giza hadi, like I've forgotten like the goodness of God before, what God has done before. So yeah, I'm just riding on my faith and hoping that eventually things will work out. But honestly, what the fuck, 2024 unhand me. Let me tell you guys, I had said that when I was beginning this year, I was really hopeful. Like I was like, this is going to be a big year. Right now I can tell you it does not look like a big year. I am literally consistently suffering. Like, like the way people divide their lives into sections: spiritual life, mental life, work life, friends, relationships. I'm telling you, it's like the carpet that I've been walking on for my life has been ripped from under my feet.
Oh, Yesu wangu. Mananiua, Yesu angalia, Yesu. Yesu, uko wapi Yesu? Angalie watu hawa wananiua baba. Baba yangu umeniacha. Wauaji Yesu. Oh, Yesu.
But I'm just grateful that I have God to look up to. I can pray and feel some peace. And I have friends who really love me. Honestly, I feel like friends are God's way of showing us love here on earth, especially if you're not close to your family. Like, if you're not close to your nuclear, like your mom, your dad, or whoever, if you're not close to them, and then you get a group of friends who really like take care of you, heal your heart, even if they've not broken it, like it's so nice. It's just nice to have, friends who look at you during times of hardship and they're just like, don't worry, we got you. Anyway, so this week I wanted to tell you guys my history with employment. Not really. Oh my god, am I too low? I have a slouching sitting position. So am I too low? You guys can just see my collarbones and maybe I've lost weight. Me judge. Let me try and sit more upright. So anyway, I wanted to tell you guys a story of how employment, up to this day, I don't know if employment is meant for me, by the way. I've been applying for jobs for the past, like the whole of April, I applied to over 50 jobs, maybe 30, don't know. Me say, well, if something is not working out, I give up and move on to the next thing. But with jobs, you can't do that. So I was applying and applying and applying and applying and trying to tell my networks that I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a big girl job. I do have a job now, but I'm looking for a big girl job where like I'm earning good money and that money is able to sustain me and do extra things and be able to like, come up with savings and whatever, whatever. But I'm still waiting on the Lord, okay? And with that process of application, Manze, I don't know if employment is meant for me. And even with like the stories I hear from my friends of how their job environments are, I'm just like, wow. Mimi ningeweza survive na vile I like to stand up for myself in situations where there's bullshit. Anyway, so I did a story time of how I dropped out of school and ended up graduating last year. And in the story I had said that before nirudi shule ndio ni graduate, my house was locked up. Last week when I was giving my story about Forex, my house, I also mentioned that nilifungiwa keja. Let me take you guys down this road. So the year is 2020, 2020, 2020, about 2019. But it was after now, like my financial cushion had been taken away by my parents and I had dropped out of school, so they cut me off. My dad was like, you're over 18. The business I have with you is education. If you're not in school, then I have no business paying anything for you. And I was like, I bet. Nilikuwa na kiburi your time. Like, I just didn't want to be in law school so badly that I didn't care what it would cost me. So obviously at that time I had kidogo money and like my living situation changed and I moved to a 1-bedroom house in Kahawa Wendani. Shout out to watu wa Kahawa Wendani, my god. By the way, that is the worst place nishaishi mimi. Personally, like Kahawa Wendani it reminds me of everything bad. Okay, everything terrible. Like that season of my life was horrible. So anyway, I moved to a house in Kahawa Wendani. It was 10,000 shillings. I had the money, I had the deposit, I had the rent. I think. Yeah. So now everything is going well. So one day at church, not a random man, like some person, tuseme person, tumwite aje. Let's call him Ringlight. Ringlight comes to where my friends and I were and says, oh, by the way, you guys, a friend of mine is looking for an office administrator. The pay is 25,000. It's Monday to Friday. And he was talking to a different person. He was not talking to me, but I was part of the conversation. This other person didn't have a job also. So I was like, oh my God, she's so lucky. I had a job, by the way. At this time, I had a job. I was working for a friend of mine. He was starting a real estate company. And I was working, and I remember my salary was 12,000 shillings. Nimekapitia, my God. So now, this conversation that is happening about this office administrator job, I'm part of it, but this girl didn't have a job. But then she was like, Kezia here is looking for a job. Kezia to go to that job. And I was just like, okay. Nikasema maybe like this is in a miracle because I really needed more money than 12,000 because if my rent is 10,000 shillings and my salary is 12, I think it was 12,500, but nilikuanga napewa transport, credit, airtime. So basically I was just working to make rent and then I just nilikuwa na survive aje. So I went to this 25,000 job. Unajua 25,000 in the house is 10,000 is fine. Hiyo 15k na lakini sikuwa napewa transport. So I was commuting from Kahawa Wendani. I met this guy, we did the interview. I remember the interview was, he came to Wendani. And I remember that time I went with my boyfriend to the interview because I was afraid that this person might be a kidnapper. Because I was like, why would you meet me in a like restaurant for an interview? Si tupatane kwa ofisi yako. Anyway, so I went for the interview, we spoke, and he liked me and he hired me immediately. Like it was on a Saturday. And then on Monday, I was to start work. Right? So I I started work and it was fine. But now where I was struggling was I didn't have fare. Like you're the first month, of course, I'm new at the job. I've been working at 12,500 job. So sina fare. So now, me by the way, I always try. I told my boss I don't have fare to be commuting every day from Wendani to Westlands, but to come through. My boss gave me 3,000 shillings. I remember it was like the second week of work or something. My nose really acts up when it's time to be in public. Okay? Hata morning nikitokanga kwa nyumba nikienda job ndio my nose will start to be running. Will start running. And I'm just like, why didn't you run in the house? Now I'm shooting and my nose keeps running, so excuse me for the little cutouts. Anyway, I remember my boss gave me 3,000 shillings and I was like, I asked myself, hii pesa amenipea atanikata kwa mshahara, like what will happen? But nikasema tu, anyway, I have the 30,000 bob, I will use it as fare until I can't anymore. And you know, an office administrator, utatumwa errands, like anakwambia tu niaje, ebu go to tower and buy this and this and this at a certain, like a specific bookshop. Ama meet me in town, I need you to take me to run this errand or meet this client. But it was a good job, like haikuwa na mambo mob. And then the first month was fine. The second month was fine. The third month, I don't know what happened. Missy Jui, like, and let me tell you guys, I knew the money that was coming in into the company. I used to deal with a lot of money. It was I don't want to like give too many details, but it was a company that was making good money. Okay. And this man was very organized. So like, I don't know what happened after the third month. While I was at the office, I'm the only one who used to sit at the office. Yeah, alikuwa anakuja very rarely. The secretary of the management of the building comes to my office and says, how are you? I say, I'm very fine. But it was so weird because they never used to speak to me. Somehow, like where I usually land, I'm usually the youngest. So the older people wananiangalianga like, she doesn't deserve to be here. Anyway, so she comes and asks me, have you spoken to your boss? Tuite boss wangu nini? Tumite Cloud. Have you spoken to Cloud? I say, no, I've actually not spoken to him. And mind you, this is the third month to come, maybe date 3. I think rent was supposed to be paid date 1, and then he used to pay me date 5. Mind you, he used to pay me as mtu wa mwisho. He would pay all other employees and then me ningelipwa wa mwisho. So anyway, I tell the secretary, no, I've not spoken to him. And I used to have my phone and he gave me the company phone. So that's how we would communicate. That's how I would communicate with clients. That's how I would communicate with other employees that were under my wing. So, nikifikiria kazi nilikuwa nafanya na nilikuwa nalipa 25k nasikia tu kucheka. Na hiyo 25k, saa zingine hata nilikuwa nalipwa kidogo kidogo. Because sasa amelipa kila mtu, pesa imebaki ni change. Sasa nitaambiwa, I'll pay you the rest, whatever. But nilikuwa tunavumilia because I was in a desperate situation. I'm not getting any financial support. I've left my other stable 12,500 job to come to this one. So I was desperate for it to work. So anyway, When the secretary comes, I just got this like dark feeling over me and said, oh my God, something is wrong. Then she said, you guys are not paid rent. We will close your office. We will auction everything, blah, 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 blah. Rent ilikuwanga, I think, 60K. I tried calling my boss, calling him, hashiki simu, hanijibu. Date 5 ikapita, and sometimes he used to make me work Saturdays half day. So this particular Saturday, I remember I left my hoodie, my nice hoodie that a friend of mine had given me. Ilikuwa hoodie flani ya black, and then it was written Balenciaga, 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 Balenciaga everywhere. And I just really feel bad about that hoodie all the time when I think about it. So that specific Saturday it was date 7, and where I was living, nyumba ilikuwa inamanajiwa na agents. So nishafungiwa maji. Okay, washanifungia maji, wakasema wewe umechelewa na rent. I was living hand to mouth at that time. Nikipata do hivi nalipa rent, nalipa wifi, na top up unga, rice, whatever. Stima, blah blah blah. Sikuanga na pesa ya raha. So anyways, that's Saturday and I still had the company phone. Mi nikaenda home. Nikasema sirudi Monday kama sijalipwa. Juu sasa nitatoa wapi fare? Nikatext boss wangu nikajaribu kumtafuta hajibu. Then the next week, I think on Tuesday, he was like, how are you, Kizia? Bring me the company phone to my home office. Alikuwa anaishi Kasarani. Mimi nikasema, okay, acha tu nipeleke juu, maybe atanilipa. Mi nikaenda, I'm telling you, the man was acting like he had already paid me. So I'm like, kwani hii month haunilipi? He's like, oh, KRA walifunga accounts zote za kampuni, so I'm unable to pay office rent, I'm unable to even pay my own rent. This is the problem with working with small companies. You guys, let me tell you, sijai panic hivyo kwa maisha yangu yote. Mind you, agents washaanza kunipigia rada, the caretaker is constantly at my door. At that time, kwanza, like, I was hosting some people, they had left. Wameniacha, wameenda wherever they were going. Now, the situation is hard, nimepanic as fuck. I have nowhere else to go. Mimi, I don't go to my relatives. I don't even think they like me. To my relatives, na siwezi rudi Ocha, because the worst mistake you can do when you're in a hard place in Nairobi is saying, let me go to Ocha, catch a break, and then come back. Hautairudi, you will suffer. So, wakanizimia stima. By date 10, I didn't have water in my house, I didn't have electricity. And then I think like the next day, I went to, I think, the shop or to see a friend of mine. And then when I came back, walikuwa wameniwekea padlock kwangu. The caretaker was like, because the caretaker used to be my G. He was like, manze, hata si mimi nimefunga, ni agent ametumwa akafunga. Let me sip water. So now see me, I'm chilling. I'm like, what do I do? And at that time, my friend Abby used to stay in Gwendani. So I was like, hi Abby, I need a change of clothes. Nikaenda kwa Abby, nilikuwa na feel vibaya, guys. Oh my God. Like, I was just like, yani, God, what kind of situation is this? Hizi ni nini? Like, nikajaribu hadi kutafuta do. Now, at that time, the forex trading scam had just happened. So I called whoever unganished me with that girl, and I was like, if you've not watched my forex trading video, it's the video before this one. So I was like, niaje, nimefungiwa keja, nini, I need you to come through, I need the money, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, ata yako chini. Ata yako chini. Nikasema haki leo ni noma. And then, like, a few days after that, eventually he sent me 10,000 shillings, and then I paid my rent, nikafunguliwa keja. But now you see, you could have money for rent, but hauna pesa ya token, hauna pesa ya kubuy food, hauna pesa ya wifi, hauna hata fare ya kwenda hata ushago. Guys, nakwambia life ilinicharaza. And that's when I decided, you know what? The only way out of this situation is going back to school. So I sat down. I someone decided, like someone was hosting me. Someone was hosting me at that time. So I decided, you know what, let me just see what I can do for myself. So I decided that, you know what, the reason I'm in this whole mess is because I'm not in school. So I sat down and thought about, what I would like for a career, or if my entrepreneurship did not work out, what would I do to make extra money? So I decided to go back to school. And then I called my dad and told him, hi, Daddy, I've decided to go back to school. And then he was like, cool. Tell us the details. Tell us how you came to this decision. And then we had a whole discussion. Oh my God, everything in my family is a freaking discussion. Like everything is such a big deal, which pisses me off. But anyway, we talked about it. I decided the school I was going to, the course I was going to do. And then now my parents are like, okay, fine. Where do you need help? So finally, wakanitumia do, nikahamia sasa Kasa, which was like close to school, and I had lived there before, so finding a house was not that hard. And yeah, like that's how I got out of that situation. Up to this day, that man calls me to say, Niaje, how are you doing? Sijui nini. And let me tell you guys, nilikuwa natumiwa vibaya kwa hiyo employment, because I think this person could just tell that this girl is young and she's desperate for some money. Alikuwa ananiambia, you just do this, I'll make you a director in this company. Their lies. I'll make you a shareholder, sijui nini nini. Like, it was just a lot of promises and da 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 da. And I was very confident that kampuni yezianguka juu the money that was coming in was good money. Hey, never say never. Kitakuramba. But yeah, guys. Now after that, like, employment for me is a hard thing. Like, even the job I have now, someone mentioned my name in a room. But like, it's so hard for me to go to jobs that I'm not, like, if the company is not long, like haijakuwa hapo for long, ama if I don't know the owner personally, like, it's just hard. But anyway, God is good. We made it out. Now we live in a bigger, better house, and we can afford rent with this job that I am doing, and hawanitumi vibaya. Yeah, and that's the story time of today, guys. Sina mambo mingi leo. God is good. If you're in a dark place, it gets better. If you are feeling alone, Jesus is your friend. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you for always coming back to my channel. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.